In this video, we're going to go over the Video Hub Master Control setup software. A couple things to keep in mind about this software. Number one, you cannot change the IP address from DHCP to static, or if it is a static, you can't change the IP address in the software unless the device is connected with a USB cable. You can't do it over the network. Everything else is configurable except for that. Here on the side, these would be all the devices that it finds on the network. So right now I have this device labeled as patch bay because it's in the patch bay, and it's the only device on the network. The backlight is in reference to the actual buttons, not the display. You can't actually change the display brightness from the software, which kind of sucks. You can't control it at all. It's just whatever it is, it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over these buttons right here. In the manual, it refers to them as labels. I refer to them as presets. So with this label is in reference to whatever you have named your sources and your destinations on the Video Hub itself. So the manual says partially type in the name of the source or the destination that you're referring to. That doesn't work. You have to type in the full name of the source and the destination. And the reason I say that is because in my case, PBIN1 or PBIN, there are 8 separate instances of PBIN. You have PBIN 1 through 8. So unless you put that last number in there referring to which to complete the sentence, it doesn't even matter. The number is totally arbitrary. I just had everything 1-to-1. Input 1, patch bay in 1, so on and so forth. It has nothing to do with the number. It's just that the label has to be complete for the system to understand what you're trying to do. So in other words, when I was originally doing this, I thought that I was going to partially type in the name and it was going to pop up with everything like a Google search. You know, you type something in and it starts guessing on what you're trying to get at. In here, it doesn't do anything. Now, you can get into trouble in a couple different ways with this. One is if you have this label right here, if I were to put a space at the end, it'll go red saying that you can't have a space at the end of the character. But the thing that was actually really getting me into trouble was I didn't realize that in my labeling, some of these actually had 2 spaces between the in and the 5, or between the PB and the in. So it has to be verbatim, the same exact amount of spaces and character. Everything has to be exactly the same. So I ended up deleting all the extra spaces on the different labels that I made. But if you actually, so I put another space in there, and I can save that. The button won't actually do anything at all. It doesn't give you an error that you did something wrong. It just won't work. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete that extra space. So you have to be very, very careful of what you type in to these labels, or again, in my verbiage, presets. I find that it's easier to copy and paste. So for example, just go in here, copy this one and paste it in here. And then what I was doing was I was just going here, I would paste it in, and then I would just change the last number because I knew that they were all in, I had labeled them in order. But you can label these whatever you want. You could label it camera, you know, like Sony camera, JVC camera. There doesn't have to be a number in the name. It's just whatever the name is that you make it on the Video Hub, whatever that labeling system that you use, your nomenclatures that you use, has to match in order on this side for it to work. So for example, program doesn't have any numbers in it. It's just a word with no spaces. Now, I did put a capital P in program, and I just copied it over here just for simplicity's sake. I don't know if the capitalization makes a change, but again, just to not have to rip your hair out trying to figure it out, just copy and paste everything that you want to bring into the system. That way you won't make any mistakes. Okay, the last thing is about this device is on this older unit, you cannot set macros. And so the difference between a label, or again, in my verbiage, a preset, a macro is basically, they would turn green if I could do it. A macro is basically when you press it, it will automatically route from an input to an output. You don't have to hit the take button. In this unit, there is no macro function, which is totally fine by me because I only really have one destination that I want to use with it. So in my case, I just wanted to go to my patch bay monitor. Uh, so yeah, but you can make these to be either presets for specific destinations or presets for specific sources. Doesn't matter. So if this video was helpful, you guys know what to do. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments below if this was helpful and things that we can do to improve the videos. I'm trying to make them as short as possible for people that are working in the field that just need the quick answer now. It doesn't seem like mixing and matching software versions matters so much. It seems I had this panel was on the 7 point whatever version, and the matrix itself or the video hub was on version 5.2, and it seems to work. So hopefully that'll help. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.